The yard sale sign was handwritten, crooked, almost apologetic. James Mitchell, a lean man of 71 with salt and pepper hair, almost drove past it. He'd been driving past yard sales for the last 2 years, ever since his wife died. Stopping had felt like admitting he was lonely. But something made him turn the car around. The house was modest, painted pale yellow with white shutters. An elderly woman sat in a lawn chair, watching a collection of items. She had steel-gray hair pulled into a practical bun and weathered hands. He wandered through the collection without purpose. Old books, ceramic figurines, the detritus of a life being dismantled. Then, leaning against the fence, he saw it. The painting was small, but it commanded attention. It showed a woman standing at the edge of a cliff, her back to the viewer. The sky was rendered in shades of purple and gold. The woman wore a pale blue dress, her dark hair flowing in an invisible wind. James felt his chest tighten. "You have good taste," the elderly woman said, appearing beside him. Her name tag read Dorothy. $20, Dorothy said. "My husband painted it. He was an artist, though he never made much money. Everything has to go." James bought the painting without haggling. He paid cash, carried it carefully to his car, and drove home with it, propped on the passenger seat. That evening, he removed the painting from its frame to clean the glass. As he tilted the frame, a yellowed envelope fell out. It was addressed in careful handwriting. "For whoever finds this." James's hands trembled as he opened it. "If you're reading this, it means I'm gone. My name is Thomas Whitmore, and I painted this 70 years ago when I was 21. James sat down slowly. "The woman in this painting is named Eleanor. She was my first love. We planned to build a life together, but I was a coward. My family disapproved. She came from a poor background. When they threatened to disown me, I chose their money over her love." The words blurred before James's eyes. He recognized this story, a universal ache, a common regret. "I married the woman my family chose. I built a successful business. But I never stopped thinking about Eleanor. I never stopped wondering. So I painted this my memory of her, standing at that cliff where we'd spent our last day together. She was looking at the future we'd never have. I'm 91 years old now, and I'm dying. My wife of 68 years never knew that my heart belonged to someone else. I wanted anyone to know that Eleanor existed, that the choice I made to abandon her was the biggest mistake of my life." He set the letter down and stared at the painting. He understood, in that moment, that he was holding someone else's deepest regret. And he understood something else. The painting looked exactly like his late wife, Catherine. Same dark hair, same slender frame, same posture. James read the rest of the letter with shaking hands. "I never had the courage to find Eleanor. She married someone else, I learned that much. Don't make my mistake. Don't let fear or obligation rob you of the person you love. Don't die with that particular ache in your chest. Keep it as a reminder that some choices can't be unmade, but some choices still lie ahead. If you're reading this, you still have time." James sat as darkness fell, thinking about Catherine. Their marriage was comfortable, but had it been born of overwhelming love? He couldn't remember the last time Catherine had looked at him the way Eleanor looked at that ocean in the painting. That night, James couldn't sleep. By dawn, he'd made a decision. He spent the next week researching. Eleanor Whitmore, Eleanor Chun. She'd been a teacher with 3 children and 5 grandchildren. She'd passed away 5 years ago. But Eleanor's daughter, Margaret, was still alive. James found her address, and before he could overthink it, drove to her house. Margaret answered the door cautiously, a woman in her 60s with silver-streaked dark hair. Her expression shifted to wonder as James explained. "My mother," Margaret said slowly, "spent her life painting. She painted oceans mostly, landscapes that looked like they belonged to someone else's memories." James showed her the painting and Thomas's letter. Margaret wept for 2 people separated by fear, each haunted by the other. My mother never married again after my father died. There was always something missing, something she was reaching for. This is her, exactly her, Margaret said. Because, James replied, your mother was painting herself into that ocean because she was always looking for him. James left the painting with Margaret. It belonged with Eleanor's family now. But the letter James kept. He read it every morning for the next year. It changed him. It made him realize he could still choose differently for whatever future remained. He reconnected with an old friend. He took up painting, something he'd abandoned at 25. He traveled alone with intentionality. A year later, Margaret organized an exhibition, Eleanor's Horizons, a life of reaching. In the center hung Thomas Whitmore's painting. The placard told the story, the letter, the lost love. Hundreds of people were moved by the tragedy and beauty of two people connected by art. James stood before it on opening night. For the first time since Catherine's death, he didn't feel alone. He felt part of something larger. He understood what Thomas finally understood too late, that the greatest gift is the courage to choose love boldly while we still have time. And if we've already made the wrong choice, the second greatest gift is to tell the story to ensure someone else might find the courage we lacked. James went home to his house. It no longer felt empty. It felt full of possibility, of time still remaining, of choices still to be made. He picked up his paintbrush and began to paint.